I'm going to start this week's episode out by telling you a networking story. A few weeks ago, my friend Carrie reached out to me and asked if I wanted to attend a networking event with her. You see, she hadn't been before, and neither had I, and we like to go together when there is a situation that is completely new to both of us. So we looked at it and agreed this would be something that both of us should check out. So we both registered, and the night came. When I got there, I walked up to the registration table, and the person there said, "I have been waiting for you to get here." And I was pretty surprised. I didn't know this woman nor anyone at the event other than my friend Carrie. And she said, "We always look our guests up on LinkedIn before the event so we know a little bit about them. And we noticed that you are a speaker and that you speak at events like this." And I said, "Yeah, that's right. I do." And she said, "Well, before you leave tonight, we want to introduce you to our director of programming so that she can get you on the schedule to speak in 2026. And mind you, I did not know anyone. I was completely flabbergasted that they had looked me up, that they had liked what they saw on LinkedIn, and made a special note to connect me with their programming director. Now, this is not something that happens everywhere I go. I have to be honest. I was pretty blown away, but it showed me that being present on LinkedIn and being known leads to opportunities. Now, if you've heard me talk before, you know that I get the majority of leads for my business through networking. In fact, this year alone, 96% of my business has come through networking referrals. And that's pretty amazing. People ask me all the time how I do it. And that is actually why I created my most requested keynote, Networking in a Hyperconnected World. And it's why I created Networking School. Because when people ask me how I am so successful with networking, I have this spark in me that wants others to learn too. Because frankly, it's so much easier than spending money on marketing dollars or pining over social media posts and just wondering what to post next. Networking is the most effective way to grow your business. So this episode is all about teaching you just that. The truth is, we live in a modern networking paradox. We are more connected through cell phones and the internet than we have ever been in history. Yet we are also more disconnected. We have so many things competing for our attention every single day. So it is so hard to capture someone's attention in order for them to remember us. We live in such a world where hard work alone is not enough to get us noticed. The noise is constant, and attention from anyone is actually rare. We know that with billions of people online, trust is harder and harder to earn, and less qualified people are getting the opportunities that we all want in the world. So we've got to figure out how to stand out in this hyper-connected world. Let's look at some stats that support this. We know that over 5 billion people use the internet every single day. And we also know that the average person receives over 121 notifications every single day. Now, where do those notifications come from? Your text, your email, your personal email, your Teams, Slack, Instagram, LinkedIn, you name it. We are getting notified over 121 times a day. Think about that when it comes to our attention. Whenever I am doing my keynote speech about networking and I say this exact stat about 121 emails and notifications daily, I see people nod everywhere in the audience. They relate. I bet you can relate too, because we all get so many notifications. It's overwhelming. And we know that people form impressions online before they ever meet us. Trust is built or broken within seconds of someone seeing us online. So I mentioned my keynote is called Networking in a Hyper-Connected World. But what do I even mean when I say hyper-connected? Here's the definition. A hyper-connected world is one where people, devices, and platforms are linked through an always on digital network, shaping how we work, communicate, and build trust. And I highlight always on digital network. It's so rare for us to be able to turn it off. And when we think about that, we always try, like, I'm going to be less online. I'm going to look at my social media less. I'm going to try to put boundaries with my phone. But it is so hard. We all know that. It's not easy to turn it off digitally. And so that's where the hyperconnected world comes from. It's not easy to turn off our digital world. And that's why I say we live in this hyper-connected world. So here lies the challenge. The challenge isn't connection, it's actually being remembered. In this noise, the quiet ones will disappear. And this is where networking comes in. People need to know you in order to trust you, buy from you, refer you, partner with you, hire you, collaborate with you, nominate you, support you. All of these things can only happen when people know you. And you don't have to be the loudest person in the room. You just need to be remembered. And I thoroughly believe that anyone can learn to network authentically. It's not about being someone that you're not. Simply put, people need to know that you exist and they need to trust what they see. Visibility is not optional, it's essential. So let's talk about the formula for modern day networking. I firmly believe that we have the obligation to network in two ways: in-person networking and virtual networking. Both of them are equally important, so let's talk about both. First of all, in-person networking is here to stay. We know that through COVID and after COVID that we need human interaction. We need to be seen. We need to meet people face to face. We need that proximity in order for people to truly connect with us and have conversations that are memorable. And when you think about this, people remember you when they see you and they connect with you as a person, not just someone online. And we know that people hire people, people work with people. As much as I believe that virtual networking is important, we can't hide behind our laptops. We actually need to schedule time to get out into the community to become known. Meeting people face to face can strengthen those relationships faster, which means that you will get faster networking results. But like I said, I truly believe that virtual networking is here to stay. I hear people say over and over again that they don't have a LinkedIn profile, or they built it a long time ago, it's not updated, or they just don't like being online. They prefer to meet people face to face. And I get it. However, it is almost impossible to be a strong networker in this day and age when you do not also have a strong online presence. In fact, the statistic is within 2 minutes of someone hearing your name, whether it be for a job referral or for a business referral, within 2 minutes, they are looking you up online. And whether or not you like it, something will appear. If they just put in your name, a LinkedIn profile will come up, even if it's old. I challenge you to Google yourself, because if someone puts in your name, you should know what they're going to find. So take this time after this podcast to Google yourself and see what people are finding. Because if it's just in-person networking, we can't trust that someone is not going to also want to connect with us online. As I said, virtual networking is here to stay. Zoom is just another way to have a meeting. LinkedIn is just a virtual handshake, and direct messages are the new introduction. Whether you're job seeking or you're trying to build your business, visibility online is extremely important. And visibility does not mean constant self-promotion. I hear that a lot. People tend to think, gosh, if I'm If I'm visible online, it means that I'm bragging or I'm being a showboat. And that's actually not the case. It means showing up in authentic ways so that others can connect the dots between what you do and why they should care. So, showing up virtually means having an up to date and relevant LinkedIn account, not one that is dated and archaic, but one that is an online billboard for you so that people can get to know you just by looking at your profile. And it really is the largest networking platform in the world. We have over 1 billion users globally every single day on LinkedIn, and 30 million of those are in the US. So, whether you are looking for B2B customers, business to business, or if you're looking for business to consumer direct, LinkedIn is the perfect place to showcase what you do. And your profile actually continues to work while you sleep. That's the funny thing about LinkedIn and virtual networking in general is that it's there for the long run. It's not just a 9 to 5. People look at LinkedIn on the evenings, the weekends, on all different time zones. So it is a very important place for you to be. Now, one thing that I learned about LinkedIn that I think everyone should really know is that a lot of people, in fact, the vast majority of people, create a profile, but then they just lurk. They don't actually post content. And so the statistic that goes with that is that 99.6% of users on LinkedIn do not post. So only 0.4% of people who use LinkedIn actually post content. So when we talk about visibility and making sure that you are known, you need to actually not just have a profile, but actually post because 3 million people are getting 9 billion views every single week on LinkedIn just because they have the courage to post. So don't be one of those 99+% of people who have a profile and don't use it. If you want to be known and remembered, you got to use it too. So I have another quick story for you with regards to networking and LinkedIn specifically. Back in 1991, I was an intern at Walt Disney World in the college program. So some of you may have heard of this or know someone else who did it. I had the best experience on my internship and met so many friends. But we lost touch with each other after the internship because we didn't have the internet back then. We didn't have cell phones. We didn't have email. The only way we had to keep in touch with each other was either to call our parents' phone or to write each other letters because it just wasn't like it is today. And so I lost touch with a lot of great friends. Again, this was 1991. So fast forward to 2004, and I get an email from a friend from Disney from 91. And her name is Jill. And Jill messaged me on LinkedIn in a DM. And she said, I don't know if you remember me, but we were on the college program. And I saw your name online in the Walt Disney World College Program alumni group, which keep in mind, there are thousands of people in this group, and I had never posted inside the group. But Jill found me and sent me a DM. Okay, so fast forward now, a year later, I have gotten so much business from Jill. I have helped her company. Her company then referred me to another company. And I've gotten, 2 career clients out of it too. So someone that I met in the early 90s found me on LinkedIn because I'm active, because I have a strong presence there. She was able to connect with me. So I was able to rekindle a friendship and get so much business. In fact, one of my longest standing HR consulting clients has come referral from Jill. So I tell you that because if you are quiet online and if you only rely on in-person networking, you can be missing out on so much business and so much career opportunity. I mentioned that LinkedIn is good for business to business, business to consumer, and we all know it's good for job seekers. But let me give you a little insight as to why I say that. So for business to business, 80% of business to business social media leads come from LinkedIn, not the other platforms. So it doesn't really matter what your business is. We know that LinkedIn is the place for B2B referrals. We also know that there's a 3 times higher lead conversion rate from LinkedIn versus other platforms. And honestly, LinkedIn has more decision makers and buyers than the other platforms. It's a place to build your authority through thought leadership, and it's ideal for the relationship first style of networking. It's actually the most powerful platform for both lead generation and sales enablement. So let's talk about B2C, or business to consumer. 77% of users on LinkedIn value helpful, non salesy content. And so this is your place to showcase who you are, how you work, and to have people get to know you as a person. It's again a place for you to educate and exercise your thought leadership. But we also know that LinkedIn is a more trusted social media platform than the others. LinkedIn works for B2C because it's a trusted platform for consumers and for job seekers. It also builds credibility and brand loyalty, and it's so great for employer branding and being known as an employer of choice. And lastly, there's some stats we can't ignore about LinkedIn when it comes to job seekers. 85% of jobs are filled through networking, not job boards. And some of that does include networking on LinkedIn. That's not the same as just going to LinkedIn and applying for jobs. That is considered online applications. But we know that 85% of jobs are filled through networking. Learning effective networking strategies on LinkedIn can help you so much. If job seekers rely solely on online applications, they have a 2% chance of getting hired, which is crazy. It's actually like being a needle in a haystack because there are so many people competing for the same jobs through online applications. And the way to stand out is through in person and virtual networking on LinkedIn. So, again, that's not just opening LinkedIn and applying for jobs, it's using LinkedIn strategically to grow your network, to engage, and to be remembered. So I ask you, what does your online billboard look like? LinkedIn is your online billboard. Does it look outdated? Is it irrelevant? Is it stagnant? Is it active? Is it inviting? Your profile works while you sleep. So make sure it says the right things. And even though some people are scared to be online or they just don't think it's for them, I want to remind you that it is thought leadership without the overwhelm. You don't need to go viral. That's actually not the goal. The goal is visibility. And with visibility, you can tell stories, you can offer lessons or insights, you can show your company culture, and you can engage with people without ever leaving your office. And to be honest, you can use your phone. The LinkedIn app is a great way to keep in touch and to stay engaged on the platform. Whether you're growing a business or you're looking for a job, people do research us first, and trust is either built or broken before you even talk to someone. Let's talk about the compound effect of networking. Whether or not you're networking online or you're networking in person, you have to build and nurture your network before it's a need. Sometimes business owners will wait until sales are low or until they're launching a big product or a new initiative, and they'll say, gosh, I need my network. And they'll realize that their network is dry because they didn't nurture it. We have to build our networks before we need them, and we have to nurture them through time. And this goes for job seekers too. So many times I will hear job seekers say that they haven't been networking in between jobs. So they'll network when they're looking for a job, and once they get the job, they stop networking, and then they have nothing to go on when they need that network again. It is important to build it and to nurture it over time, because the truth is you can't cram relationships, and networking is all about relationships. The best connections grow over time. So start now, stay consistent, and you'll see the results. So, as I near the end of this episode, I want to talk about what happens when you don't have a networking plan. So, let's talk about it. What happens when you don't network and you don't have a networking strategy? You keep working really hard, but you stay invisible. You second guess how to follow up and how to talk to people because you haven't built that relationship. And opportunities go to people who simply show up more often, whether it's online or in person, they simply show up more often. But those who consistently network and nurture those relationships walk into events feeling confident and prepared. They know what to say and when to say it because they know people, and their messages get replies online because they're authentic and they're known. And when people are known, networking comes really easy. The saying used to be, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And I honestly believe even that is outdated. It's not who you know, it's who knows you. And we know that silence in a hyperconnected world is invisibility. I encourage you to think about what I said in this podcast, that modern networking is twofold. It's virtual and it's in person. And I encourage you to check out Networking School, the membership that I have created to teach people how to be effective networkers and how to be remembered. If you enjoyed this podcast, make sure that you share it with a friend, leave a review, and hit the subscribe button. And connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm always excited to add more people to my network.